so awesome was Martin Luther King Jr. that Coretta Scott didn't even marry again once Martin left, because how do you replace a man such as Martin Luther King? He was one of the few leaders that America had that made a promise to us and kept it. There've been a lot of promises out there. We've had promises such as we're going to take care of the Vietnam vets, but still the Vietnam vets are still suffering. We've had promises like war on poverty, but we still know that poverty is still going on. We've had such promises as no child left behind, but still even now in our educational system, children are left behind. But there were two men that made a promise in the 1960s that kept them. One was John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy said, "We are going to the moon." And by golly, we went to the moon. And then Martin Luther King Jr. made a promise wrapped up in a dream that one day that we'd be able to sit together around the table of brotherhood together. The reason that I am speaking here today is because of Martin Luther King Jr. So when we say his legacy and keeping that dream alive, don't you know that you are living his dream? That I'm living his dream? That we're living Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream right now. We are the ones that helped to make the dream a reality, but it's what he did and how he transformed the world. And it's how he did it. Let me share this with you. Martin Luther King Jr. changed not just America, changed the world by using three simple steps, three simple movements that you and I use every day of our life. He changed the minds and the hearts of people to come together by simply showing us three simple movements. You know what those movements were? Sitting, standing, and walking. Transform the world. Sitting. I don't need to tell you this. We're in North Carolina. That just in Greensboro down the road on the students that came into the Woolworth to eat, sat at the diner. And though they didn't want them there and they tried to pull them out and what did they do? They just simply sat there. While others were out there and throwing things and trying to pull and yank, what did Martin teach them about nonviolence? Just to sit there. Just to sit there until the hearts and the minds of those that practice violence began to melt before them. They just learned just to sit there. Just to sit. And what's the other movement? Walk. What did Martin teach them in Alabama? In the boycott of the bus system? That for over 360 days that the people could come together and simply just walk. Although they had to walk miles to go to work, Martin taught them about how nonviolence and how the simple act of this changed the world. Not since have we as Americans been able to come together. And one of the things that grasped me in the thought of Martin Luther King is how he was misunderstood, that Martin Luther King was for the black race. Martin Luther King Jr. was for the human race. He was for all. He was teaching people how to walk and how to sit, how to stand arm in arm together, not for the black race, but for the human race. So that women could get paid the same amount that men get paid. That one day that a black man and a woman might have a chance to run for presidency. And the things that he did we were able now to look back on it and benefit, although many of us, most of us in here today weren't alive when Martin was alive, including myself. For I was born in 1970. I missed the man by 2 years. But what he did for me and left behind, I am forever in his debt.